Mark Kretzschmar, model citizen, 56-year-old investment banker turned scam artist, is currently on the run with tens of millions of investor funds. And those are just what we know about. Now, guys, Mark is accused of scamming people out of their money. And I'm going to put it to you that when you steal someone's money, you are stealing a little bit of their life, because you are stealing the time that they spent working for that money. And guys, Mark targeted vulnerable people. We are talking widows. We are talking people with special needs children. We are talking about people who were saving for their children's education. It's not the type of people who are going to miss the money as though it was a mild inconvenience. This is going to shatter and destroy people's lives. So what Mark was doing is that he was an investment broker and he was operating out of Sandton, Johannesburg. And he was sharing offices with a company known as Freedom Capital. Now, this is important because you see Freedom Capital and Mark were combined at some point, I believe. And Mark had gone and found his own company, PCS Holdings. And from PCS Holdings, he was somehow using Freedom Capital's license to operate. But guys, Freedom Capital found out that Mark was being nefarious with the license and he wasn't doing the correct thing. So what they did is that they severed the license on the 27th of Jan this year and they reported Mark. So they did exactly what they were supposed to do. But you see, Mark was still sharing offices with them. And I think this added to his legitimacy because you see, he could bring potential investors to his office and they could see all these beautiful offices and all these other people running around and investing. It looks so legitimate and so professional. And guys, that's why I think people did give their money to him. And another thing that Mark would do is that he would throw these lavish braais with crayfish tails. Oh, I do love a good crayfish tail. Prawns, calamari, and it's in Johannesburg, right? We know how hard it is to get seafood there, good quality seafood. And these weren't the braais where it was just a lamb choppy with some aromat on it. No. And he would bring out the expensive whiskey. I mean, no Savannah Light or Zamalek for you. It was expensive, top of the range whiskey. And he would essentially woo his investors. And he would also take them on hunting trips, all expense paid hunting trips. And you know what? A lot of his investors were friends of his. I mean, what a friend to have, right? And they would invest their life savings, all their money with him. Now, guys, warning signs started happening last year when one investor tried to take out some money from Mark. And Mark suddenly developed a neck injury and he couldn't be reached. And also the signal was really bad where he was. I mean, guys, when is the last time you phoned someone and the signal's been bad? Like, we live around 5G, right? And eventually the investor got some of the money out in drips or drabs, but they still didn't get their full balance out. And this became a common theme because you see, Mark had been stealing investor money and he didn't have a way to pay it back, allegedly, right? He's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Now, guys, Mark is currently missing and the journalists I see on the news have managed to contact his father, but they say that no comment from Mark. So we don't know where Mark is, and it's important that Mark gets found because I think the SAPS have an open investigation, and also there's a lot of people that need to serve him paperwork so that they can try and freeze whatever assets he's got left so they can redistribute it to the investors. And guys, it's not going to be much. They're probably going to get like a few cents on the rand back for what they put in with Mark. And this is devastating because these are people's livelihoods. This is people's time that they've spent, you know. Before I leave you guys, I'm going to give you 2 bits of advice. So the first bit of advice is always check the company's paperwork that you are investing in. But in this case, Mark hadn't turned over his books in the last 3 years. So that's an immediate red flag. And trust, do your research. You got to trust this person who you are putting your money in with as much as you trust a doctor who's going to do open heart surgery on your heart. You got to make sure that this person is 100% legitimate. And these people are the victims in this case, right? These investors are the victims. But unfortunately, there are so many scam artists that you have to be so very careful. And the second bit of advice that I'm going to give you guys is never do business with family or friends. And that's how Mark got a lot of his business. It was a lot of people that he played golf with, who the kids went to the same school, Never do business with family or friends. Guys, I have someone in my own family who was a pastor who stole all the old Tanny's money. Yeah, let me know if you want to hear that story. But never do business with family or friends. Let me know if you like stories like this and if you want me to cover more.